Hello, welcome to Toastmasters webinar. We're here today with Aaron Bowers and myself. I'm the Club Growth Director for District 63. And Aaron Bowers, you're the Sales
Training Specialist here at McKee Foods and the President of Smile Wrappers here at McKee Foods.
Right. Thank you very much.
Gene, I know you wanted to be able to talk about what you're doing as far as starting new clubs. And so we have some questions that you have some great answers to that you wanted to be able to share with everyone. So we'll go ahead and start off with, but before we start with the questions, why do you think this information is important to get out to everybody in our Toastmasters universe here?
The reason I feel like this is important is for years, people have thought that it's the district's responsibility to start new clubs, and the district does play a very important role. But I want to make it clear that anybody can start a Toastmasters club. They can start the ball rolling, and then they can involve the district when it gets down to the important things, making sure the papers are filled out correctly and things like that. But in the very beginning, anyone can start a Toastmasters club. All they need to do is find a group of people that are interested in having Toastmasters. And if someone actually comes up with you and says, I heard about Toastmasters, I'd like to find out a little bit more, can you tell me about it? Go ahead and talk to them about a Toastmasters club. Get some interest started with them. And once you get the interest started, then if they want to continue, then you can involve the district.
How long does it take to charter a new club?
Well, used to, you would grab a group of people, and the group of people would start meeting, and then sometimes it would take a year or two. But we're changing all that process because that is outdated and no longer valid for starting Toastmaster clubs. We need to plan on chartering Toastmaster clubs in 90 days. And the reason for that is as we move into pathways, the material that they give you is only about a 90-day part of material. They give you a icebreaker and a couple other projects to do, and that's it. And so in 90 days, you're out of material. So the best thing to do is charter in 90 days. And if you're not able to charter a club in 90 days, then I'd recommend just going to an existing club rather than trying to start a club.
So this thought kind of started with you. I remember you told me a story about when Lark was here last fall. So tell us about that. Tell us what you learned and how your opinion kind of changed a little bit from that time that you guys spent together.
Right. I used to be the old method where if I get 10 people together, then we start a club, and sometimes it would take a year or two to develop the other 10. And the problem was the first 10 would get burnt out. They would drop out, and so you basically had to replace those 10 plus get an additional 10 in order to have enough to start a club. When Lark came, she spent 2 days with me, and we went around and talked to several people about starting clubs. She taught me a lot of information about how the 90-day plan is really the best way to go. She taught me to set up expectations in the very beginning. In the beginning, you tell the company that you're dealing with or the group of people, we expect you to charter in 90 days. And if they know that up front, then they have that in their mindset. They will go out and gather 20 to 40 people to come to the initial meeting. The initial meeting is not just a demo meeting, it's a kickoff meeting. And the kickoff meeting is where you actually start the club, you choose the officers, you name the club, and if you start with 20 to 40 people that's already RSVP'd that they want to come, then you can have a good, successful club. And we want to build sustainable clubs that are going to be there next year, not just here and gone next year.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. And so what kind of help is available to anyone who is interested in starting a club or that opportunity presents itself?
Well, we have a lot of material online. Toastmasters International, there's a specific document called How to Start a Toastmasters Club. Mm-hmm. And that document will take you step by step everywhere you need to go. From the very beginning, it discusses the different types of clubs. You have religious clubs, you have community clubs, company clubs, organizational clubs, you even have virtual clubs. It's discussed in that document. And that document will show you all the forms that need to be filled out. We'll discuss what needs to be on the forms, the cost, your mentors, your sponsors, all of that is laid out in that manual, how to start a Toastmasters club. Just about any question you have can be found. The answer can be found in that document.
Okay, cool. So let's say that I already belong to a club. Why should I start a new one? What's in it for me, or what's in it for us as an organization?
I understand that. And I think a lot of people believe that way. But the excitement of being able to help someone actually start a club, it's indescribable. It's so exciting to help a club get started. Some people need to have a DTM, and that's one of the requirements for a DTM. You be a sponsor, a mentor, or a coach. That helps you fulfill the requirements for your DTM. But above all else, the excitement of being able to help other people learn about Toastmasters. If you're passionate about Toastmasters, why not share it with other people? And it is so exciting when you know that a club started because of your results and what you put into it. It's like a teacher when they teach students and their eyes light up because they're so excited because they get it.
Sure.
And that's what it's all about.
Very cool. So what kind of successes have you had with this new mindset recently?
Well, since I've changed to the 90-day plan, I've actually had a lot better success. The companies understand in the beginning that they need to get on the ball. They can't drag their feet out a year or two,
Sure.
and maybe it'll fall into place. They need to set up a definite plan, get the word out, get people invited to the meeting, and have the meeting started. We recently started a club close to Nashville. They had about 31 people come to the kickoff meeting, and it only took like a couple weeks to get them chartered. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And we've gone to other meetings, and I went to one. They have a club in another city, so they already knew about Toastmasters. They had laid out a plan, a whole list, what they're going to do step by step by step, and they are planning to charter probably in March. And we haven't even had the first meeting yet, other than just talking with HR and the learning development people. And so that's exciting to see clubs and companies especially that want to have a Toastmasters club, and you give them the expectation that it can be done in 90 days, and they figure out a plan on how to do it, and they do it. And I can't explain how exciting that is.
Well, thank you for sharing, especially about something as important as continuing to get the opportunity for self-improvement and everything that Toastmasters clubs offer to people. Any parting words that you'd like to say before we sign off?
Well, some people always ask how much the cost is. And I always recommend that you look at the Toastmasters site and look at the latest documents because they're always updating their manual. Currently, the price is $125 to charter a club. And then $45 per member. So less than $90 a year, you can be a Toastmaster.
Sure.
There's a $20 new member fee. So for just pocket change, you can actually have a new Toastmasters club in your organization or in your community. When you compare that to other programs that cost $2,000 or $3,000 for one individual, you can see Toastmasters is a very good value. But I always recommend new people when they want to start a new club that they look at the latest documents just in case there's been a change and go with the latest figures.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and thanks for sitting down and talking and sharing, especially
Glad
this
to be here.
message that you're so passionate about. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.